Let's break down the full summary of One Piece Chapter 1128. Before diving in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our content. It helps out a lot. Now, let's get into it. The title of Chapter 1128 is RPG. Oda cleverly merges two fan requests for the cover art. One showing the Straw Hat crew having a barbecue with a dragon on top of a volcano, and the other showing the crew as wizards flying with a black cat. The final color spread features the crew dressed in wizard outfits, soaring on brooms alongside a massive dragon, definitely giving off some Harry Potter vibes. The chapter opens inside Big Stein Castle. Sanji is seen carrying Nami as they leap off the castle, with Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp following. As they land, it's revealed that the entire kingdom is made up of Lego pieces, with a giant tree in the center. Zoro shares that he woke up on the other side of town, following the noise until he stumbled upon Luffy defeating a giant rabbit. Luffy teases Usopp, saying he should have handled a lion on his own, to which Usopp responds, panicked, explaining he was almost eaten by a giant cat. Usopp also points out that this isn't Elbaf because the giant warriors are human-sized. The crew decides to visit the giant town to gather information. On their way, they meet a regular-sized bearded man wearing giant clothing and riding a huge grasshopper. He introduces the land as the Land of the Gods, and mentions it is ruled by deities like the Ear God Rabbit, the Spike God Hedgehog, and Iskat 12, the cat ruler of the castle. The bearded man then reveals that the Ear God was recently burned to death, which catches Luffy off guard as he recalls their earlier fight with a rabbit. Usopp quickly covers Luffy's mouth to avoid giving anything away, while Zoro, Sanji, and Nami look away, trying to hide the fact that they were responsible for killing the rabbit. The bearded man invites them to get rations from his town, but warns them to avoid the other side of the castle, where the Sun God's temple is located, guarded by deadly creatures. Luffy, hearing about the Sun God's temple, immediately dashes toward it, with Zoro joining in to check out the guardian beasts. Sanji jokes about how Zoro always follows Luffy's reckless plans. As Luffy sprints through the kingdom, he suddenly smashes into an invisible barrier, a giant mirror. The vast landscape they saw turns out to be a mere reflection, shattering the illusion of the entire kingdom. The kingdom is, in reality, a model diorama placed inside a giant's room. The crew realizes they've been inside a massive cage the whole time, surrounded by mirrored walls. The room itself is enormous, furnished with a giant wooden table, sewing materials, and scattered Lego pieces. The Straw Hats are stunned, and Nami questions what's going on. Sanji speculates that they are like pets kept in this elaborate cage by a giant. They soon spot Chopper, trapped outside the cage on a table. Zoro rescues him, and Chopper, overjoyed, shares how he was stuck, unable to remove his collar. Luffy, meanwhile, explores the floor of the room, discovering more Lego blocks. Sanji realizes that burning the rabbit earlier caused the unbearable smell due to the synthetic resin of the Lego pieces. Zoro figures the people living in the diorama are like pets to the Sun God, who watches over them through the glass. Suddenly, two giant animals appear. Hilongander, a massive snake named after the world serpent Jormungandr, and Mugen, a giant raven with a skull on its head. Inspired by Odin's ravens Hugin and Munin, Luffy and the crew engage the beasts, causing chaos and setting the room on fire. Outside the room, the Sun God, a mysterious giant far larger than any we've seen before, except for oars, notices the commotion and heads toward the room. The Sun God is wearing a black tunic, with a deer skull and large antlers covering their face, holding a staff and shield with a sun symbol. The Sun God enters. They are shocked to find Luffy, who is using Gear 5, laughing amidst the chaos as he battles the giant snake. Zoro also takes down the giant raven. The crew then escapes back into the diorama, encountering Iskat, the cat they defeated earlier, who is now furious. The Straw Hats knock out Iskat again and ride on its back, with Nami showing them a map she found. As they flee, the chapter ends with the Straw Hat crew riding Iskat through the town while the enraged Sun God chases them, vowing they won't escape. And that's a wrap for this thrilling chapter. No break next week, so stay tuned for the next update. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next time.